Welcome to the Tech Sales Funnels podcast, where we dive deep and answer the ultimate question, how did you hack into tech sales? Each week, we bring you inspiring stories, proven strategies, and insider tips from top performers who've cracked the code to break into tech sales and thrive. Whether you're just starting out, making a career pivot, or ready to level up, this is your go-to space for actionable advice and real-world success stories. Let's crack the code together, because hacking into tech sales isn't just a dream, it's your next move. Now with your host, the founder of Tech Sales Funnels and the tech sales hacker himself, Dayvisson DaSilva.
Welcome everyone to the Tech Sales Funnels podcast. This is Dayvisson DaSilva, the tech sales hacker. Today I'm here with a LinkedIn friend. I see him on LinkedIn all the time. Horace MacKey. He is always posting and reposting and targeting people to jobs, tech sales jobs. He's a tech seller himself, and he's all over the place and sharing really good information, insights. So I was like, hey, I have to bring him to the podcast. And here he is. Hey, Horace, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah. Horace MacKey. Like you said, tech sales is my thing. My platform is Big Tech Money, if you're not familiar with it. And like you said, all about helping people, find their way. We were kind of talking a little bit off camera. We have some new direction of this job is changing. This world is changing. Tech is changing. And so, fully embracing that. But, many years spent at Microsoft, spent about a year at, Tableau, Salesforce, and currently at ServiceNow, which most people probably don't know what I do there. But, been in a bunch of different roles, right? Technical roles, frontline kind of sales specialist roles, account director roles, and also just like director of sales, for Latin America, covered Brazil, as a matter of fact. So, been kind of all over the place, seeing it from every angle. And, thank you for having me, man. I appreciate it. Glad to be here.
No, yeah, man, you have so much information. I'm super excited for this interview here. I know it's not too long, but let's try to capture as much as we can. How about we start? Like, how did you get started? Like this whole tech sales, like very, very, very first job. How did you hack into tech sales?
Yeah. So tech sales, I would say I had an interesting journey, man. I'll take you a little bit before it, right? Like you go back to college, I've always been in sales, right? So I always embraced sales because I liked the fact that you can make, like a salary plus like that wild card commission, I would call it, right? So fast forward that, every kind of job I had, did some other stuff, but did a lot of telecom, which people don't consider that technology. But if you think relative to the time, cell phones was like the forefront of technology, right? So when you think about that, worked for T-Mobile and Verizon, and I was an account development rep, which, you hear like BDR, SDR. I was an account development rep for T-Mobile, which was a different job, man. I would work with, if you think back in a day where you go to a mall and like the guys are trying to sell you phones, and, you go to like, it looked like a T-Mobile store, but not quite. Like I used to work with the owners of those, right? And what I did there was like, help them understand how to make money. So I got to kind of see it from the company business perspective, right? Which was, you need to sell this phone, which was the biggest cost, right? Because remember, they would sell phones for $100. Those phones cost $600, right? So you had to recoup that money, right? So you sell the phone, get as much money as you could for that, sell the plan, sell text messaging, sell data, sell the accessories, right? Sell some insurance. And then all of that together would help that owner, try and get most of their money back, because they still got to run the store. They got to pay the employees, stuff like that. Right. So that was my first kind of foray into technology, kind of from that more hardware space. Right. Fast forward, almost got a job with Apple. That's a whole story for another time. But my first job was with Microsoft. I went to Georgia Tech for my master's, my MBA. And then
Nice.
Got into Microsoft like I started in August of 23 and I got my offer letter from Microsoft in December of 24. So I was kind of on cruise control, from January to September,
Wow.
right? So I finished. But started Microsoft in June of 2015. And so, that was kind of the first one. And,
Yeah.
man, it was interesting, man. It was a different time, like all the mobile security stuff is where I started. Like it's called enterprise mobility and security. And had no idea what I was doing, to be honest,
Mm.
right? But for anybody
Nobody.
well, that's a real thing though, man. And I even now, like being
Mhm.
new to ServiceNow, same thing. I say for everybody who's starting something new, go find the people who do it the best, watch them do it, and kind of copy it, but make it your own. You know what I mean? And then that'll help you understand and learn faster.
Mm,
So
yeah.
that would be my advice. And then obviously use AI because that didn't exist 10 years ago.
That's a shortcut for sure.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
No, wow, that's amazing. So right off the bat, Microsoft, big tech.
Yep.
I had your LinkedIn profile open right here, and I can't find right now. Too many
Yeah.
screens here. But um, so all the tech jobs they have had so far. Right now, you're of course a leader in this space. Um, Was there anything that like I see Microsoft, you like 7 years and Tableau, Microsoft again, ServiceNow. Was that any specific technology or like specific role that you enjoyed the most?
Yeah, man. Honestly, it's kind of the one that I came back to now. It's kind of that account director role. I think, I
Okay.
think a lot of people aspire to be leaders, right? And that's fine, right? If that's your thing, 100% do it. What I would say for me, right? I like being knowledgeable about the products, right? Um, and so that kind of account director, right, which is more like the relationship, and then you have specialists that you work
Mm,
with. I don't say work for, but work with, and the specialists like they kind of pursue the opportunities. You're the one that kind of organizes it. And I think any good account executive, account director, whatever title that is, that's account focused, I think you should have some sort of technical knowledge, right? So if you watch my videos or content, you'll see I'm not the one who's going to be like, oh, yeah, it's okay that you don't know anything about technology, right? I don't believe in that, right? Because the more you know, you can reduce the cycles, right? You can get the deals done quicker.
mm,
One of my great Microsoft leaders, she would always say, time is like the biggest enemy of any deal, right? So anytime you can reduce cycles, which knowledge offsets, do that. But that's the role I like the best, right? Which is kind of with the customer, working with them to find kind of where to take them and how to help them be successful. Because it's like problem solving. Um, I, there's no role I didn't like, to be fair, right? When I did the technical role, I didn't like it at
okay.
first, but then I learned to appreciate it because it helped me learn how to understand the technology in depth. I would say when I was a leader of a team, you know, you get to like see people's problems, man, and I didn't like that, right? And then you got some people who are good employees, and you got awful ones. I had some awful ones. I had some really great ones. Let me say that, but I had some awful ones too, right? Like awful. And so the other thing I think with being a leader, especially in a place like Microsoft, is that you have so much internal, right? And I had all of South America, so all of Latin America, Caribbean, Latin America, Spanish
Mm,
speaking South America, Brazil, which is Portuguese, right? Mexico, which was its own entity. And I had part of the US, the south of the US, right? So there were so many internal meetings, man, I couldn't really get to the customers, right? And I just like being customer focused. You know what I mean? So
mm,
that for me, that's why I say like the role I'm in now, I just prefer
nice.
being able to help customers solve problems, right? So yeah,
That's cool.
yeah,
Let's continue that conversation. So what I have seen right now, I don't know if it's right or I've been out of the on the floor, the sales floor for about a year, but I hear a lot that clients are sometimes hesitating because of implementing technology because they're changing so fast that by the time they implement, something new is already up. Have you seen this at all, like on your like lately?
Yeah, I would say because it's changing fast, I'm not really seeing that. What I see, and it surprises me because I've worked and supported some really large organizations that we all like patronize, right? Like hotels and different ones like that. What I would say is I see, and I'm always surprised to see these large organizations buy software because I've worked, that's why I call it like my platform, big tech money, because I work for the big companies.
Mm,
I'm always surprised to see that they buy small company technology, right? And so, to your point of that, when you see like they'll make that investment, right, in a smaller company's technology, but then that big company that they already have a relationship with, right? And I worked at probably the biggest one, it would always kind of just literally surprise me to see that. So I didn't see so much that they were hesitating on implementation. What I would see is that they would make an investment with a company and then they have to try and realize every dollar of it to justify it, which would then hold
mm,
them up from making what I call the right decision, right? Like sometimes you need to
mm,
cut the cord, understand, the organization maybe made a bad decision, that investment, that money's gone, get it right as quickly as possible is how I look at it. But customers see it differently, right? They want to try and, squeeze all the berry out the juice or something like that, right? Whereas sometimes it's like, look, throw that berry away and then make a better decision that focuses long term. And that's a whole nother conversation about, making sure you communicate with the right people in the organization who have the right perspective, right? You want somebody who thinks about the company over a 3 to 5 year time period, someone who looks at all geographies across all the customers versus someone who does a job, right?
mm.
You got some people who just come to work to do a job. Then you have other people who are responsible for the organization. You should only really sell to the people responsible for an organization. So I give really long answers, man. Feel free to cut me off.
No, man. Hey, I am a listener. I like to listen, and I can see already that I can go so many angles here. I'm gonna have to stay focused myself. I appreciate your answer. The Now the environment, the tech sales environment for sellers. You have been in the industry for so long. What has changed the most, like in the last 2 years? And I know we can go with the whole AI transformation, but I know you have big opinions about that.
Yeah, yeah. So what I would say that's changed lately, obviously, you have like geopolitical things, right? Like obviously the administrations and just different things that go on in the world, right? Like you're from Brazil, you understand what I'm talking about with this too, right? Like I had a customer who I researched, and over the last 2 years, because of the like change in Brazilian currency value, right? Like 2 years ago, they
Yeah.
made a lot of money. Last year, they got decimated, right? And so,
Oh man.
what I think is that, with sellers, like being able to look at, the entire landscape to find out what's going on for their customers, what's best for their customers, that's a big change. So I would call that generically responsibility. I think
Mm,
also,
I like that.
yeah, because the job market has tightened up, right? That's what we're seeing now. People think what people's natural tendency is just to flee, right? Like to go away. And my thing is like, it's the worst time to go away from it, right? Now is the time because when the company is cutting down, right, thinning things out, if you're able to get in now, you should be there long term as long as you produce, right? Because
Mm,
you got in at a time when they were downsizing. That's when you got in just off a natural cycle. They're not going to be like, oh, we
I
hired you
love
three
that.
months ago and now it's time to fire you. Like that typically doesn't happen because you either came in
Mhm.
cheaper or you were more valuable. And that's why they actually pulled the trigger to bring you in. When they're cleaning
Mm,
house, I heard some stuff that I can't repeat happening in Microsoft right now, but it'll be in the news, I'm sure. But like when they're cleaning house, like they're cleaning off the bottom people that they don't want, right? They can't say it that way, but that's what they're doing. So like now is the time to put in the work to get in, right? Like that's why I created my AI tutor thing, because it's like now's the time,
Mm,
like the off season, if you will, right? If I make any sports reference, right? Your football or my football, right? Like the off season is when you practice and get better for the season that's coming, right?
for the
And
tryouts,
so,
yeah.
exactly, right? And so, like people's tendency to flee, those people that are fleeing probably wouldn't have been good anyway, but the people who are staying
Oh
are going to be the
man,
people who will stay long term because they're putting in the work, they're getting better. And I'll be honest, man, you do some coaching and I do some coaching and, like helping people out. And like, there's a lot of people who just aren't good. I'm gonna just say it, right? And then there are some people who stick to it. And I'm like, you're going to be successful here, right? Um, but the fact that a lot of people give up quickly is why now is the time to be there, right? Because people get a couple no's, they're going to be out of it, right? But the people who stay the course and then get in now, it's like you're starting your career. And to your point that we kind of talked about earlier, AI is transforming this, right? Like I've given references, I hate violent references, but like AI is almost like a gun, right? Like if you got a guy who's 7 feet tall, 300 pounds, and a guy who's 5 feet tall, but 150 pounds, you get a small guy a gun, all of a sudden it's a fair fight, right? AI is
yes.
like the gun now, right? Because what I'm seeing firsthand in the work that I'm doing, and I'm one who's going to adopt the technology quicker and sooner versus some of my colleagues from, current and past places who have been doing it maybe 10, 15 years, and they want to keep doing it the old way. I think somebody who's new, lesser experience, or maybe just sales experience, maybe not technology, that AI helps you close the gap of knowing the technology of a new company, of knowing how to sell it, of matching the customer problem to the solution. Like there's so much the AI can do to supplement and get you going now that it's going to bridge the gap between somebody with 2 to 3 years of experience and someone with 10 years of experience, right? So
Mm.
that's a whole conversation, but my point is, yes, there's a lot of change happening now, and now is the time to run towards the fire, not run away from it.
Man, I love your mindset. I love you how you reframe the. A lot of people like, oh, the market's bad, or hey, there's all those layoffs, and then you just completely shift it. I love it because as a high performer coach, like I don't like to hear that. I even if I hear that, I have to stay focused. I'm here to help you. I'm not here to see what's
Yeah,
happening, on the sides on the market. So I love that analogy. I love the analogy of leveling the field. AI, it's definitely doing that. Now, now that the let's say the level the field is leveled up, right? So how do you actually differentiate yourself these days? Like I know you're big into personal branding and
yeah,
you build content as well. You do all sorts of stuff. Like I feel like this is a huge, huge, huge plus. Yeah, what would you recommend for people to with AI? Okay, what
yeah.
else?
So let's dig a little bit on that, right? Because people think
Yeah,
AI. When you say AI, the first thing that comes to people's mind is ChatGPT, right? And they
the
think like,
chat.
oh,
Yeah,
well, I'm gonna go put my resume in the ChatGPT, and then it's perfect. It is not. It's well worded, but it's still bad, right? Like that's what I think people are missing is that, and this is such a deeper problem, but I'll try and keep it as surface as possible. People think that ChatGPT is like the end all be all that will solve every problem, and it's not. You still have to one, know how to use it, two, have some level of competence, right? And some level of knowing how to create a solution to whatever the problem is. I always call it like there's some people who think AI will replace people. I'm more of I think AI is a multiplier of people, right? So I think you have what you do, and if
mm.
that quality, it's like a steak, right? Like you think about a
It's like
steak,
money.
right? Say it again.
I was gonna say it's like money. People say money doesn't, it just amplify who you are. Like
Oh
if you're
yeah,
a good
okay. That's
person,
yeah,
then
that's
you.
actually a really good analogy. Yeah, it's that's a great analogy, right? Like, so some people get money and now they were bad people. They're just exponentially bad people. I think AI, that's actually a really good analogy, right? Like, people can be, let's just call them subpar. I don't want to be negative, right? But then they get AI, and now you're just multiplying how bad you are, right? Like, your resume is bad, and now it's just bad and well worded, right? Or if you had bad examples, now your example's bad, and now you just look silly, right? Like, there's a lot to what ChatGPT is doing, and it's, let me give everybody the secret. It's because ChatGPT is built to always agree with you, right? It's always
Mm,
going to agree with you and kind of make you feel good and make you think that you're right. And the reason for that is because if it disagreed with you all the time, what would happen? You stop using it,
right?
right?
You fire,
People,
right?
right. People want, kind of that confirmation bias, right? Like, hey, there's an article I kind of put on my page, and it was talking about, brown nosing of AI, right? And what it was saying, like, a guy literally gave Chat GPT this, business idea of you using human feces as a
Mm,
business. And Chat GPT was like, that's innovative. That's amazing, right? Because again, no matter what, it's not going to disagree with you because you'll stop using it,
just
right? So I want people to think about that, right? Like, this concept of, oh, I can just be anybody, use AI, and now I'm good at something, patently false. Like, it's not true at all. You still have to understand how to use it. Right now, you can improve yourself, use it, and become better, 100%. But if you think like, oh, I got a bad resume, let me put it in the Chat GPT, it's just going to word it better, but it's still going to be bad, right? Like, I've
mhm.
done the one-on-ones, and I'm sure you have too, where you look at their resume and you're like, I mean, it reads well, but it's not saying anything. Like, it's like a really
Yeah,
nice written job description. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
so
yeah. That's
that's
challenge,
the
right?
thing that people need to pay most attention to when you talk about how things are changing, right? Like, don't think that just because you use AI that it makes you better. It does not. It just
Mm,
amplifies whatever you are, right? If you're mid, you're going to be like well spoken mid. If you're bad, you're just going to be well spoken bad, right? Like, it doesn't change you, it just multiplies your impact and effect. You still have to focus on
yeah.
you, which is why, your coaching, my coaching, whoever is good and does coaching is still of high value.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, I was thinking about the other analogy. Yeah, you already used the whole poop analogy. This first AI revolution, there was one of the partners of Microsoft. He came up with a T-shirt. There was a poop, and then there was Copilot, and then the other side there was a poop, like a colored with Microsoft colors and stuff.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
still poop. I'm like, it's whatever you feed to the machine, it's just it's what's going to come
That's
out.
all it is, man. And I
Um,
think when people realize it's not a magic tool and then learn how to actually use it, we'll get better results.
I like that, and I have an opinion about like in sales, that like there's something really big about executive presence and being people overuse that word and all that, and helping sellers to make better sales and all that kind of stuff. Do you would you say that social branding or having a digital presence or learn how to use LinkedIn, for example, it's kind of the new executive presence, or
Yeah, that's an
I've been
interesting
trying
thing.
to.
No, I know where you're going with that. So I would say LinkedIn, like, yes, you have to have that. If you want a professional life, then yes, your LinkedIn is the representation of you, right? Um, I'll take it even a step further and say, like, your ability to network and have conversations and interact with people, which is sort of executive presence, right? But to me, it's more social presence now, right? Maybe that's a better way to call it. That's important too, because there's some people who reach out to me, send me a message, or try and connect, and I'm like, nah, but then there's others who
Right.
know how to strike a chord, right? Like they find a commonality, they call out something, and I mentioned this in some of my other stuff, right? Where if you can find a commonality with me, here, I'll give some away, right? Chicago Bears football, right? Like I'm a big Bears football fan. I don't know why they've been sucking. I think they'll be better, but
Yeah.
Chicago, Brazilian football, right? Like Neymar, all them guys, those are my favorite guys, right? Like Brazil's my team, right? Cycling,
Nice.
Peloton, Georgia Tech, right? Like if Microsoft, ServiceNow, right? Like if
Mhm.
there's things that about a person and you can connect with them, right? Like that social presence to me is a better tool than executive presence, right? Because
Yeah.
it's what'll help you navigate things, right? And quick example I'll give: I got into an interview. The guy had on like a Detroit Lions sweatshirt. I've told this story, and because I have a general knowledge about everything, right? Like I knew things about Detroit Lions, so I was able to connect with him on that topic, and the interview went great, right?
Yep.
Versus, you know, just not talking about it, who knows what the outcome would have been. You know what I mean? So being able to have like that social interaction, social presence, right? Like it gets people to remember you, it gets people to, put their wall down. And then that way you can kind of make better progress with what you're trying to accomplish, right? Um, and I just have to say it because the people who are like, hey, I see you work at ServiceNow. I just lost my job and I need a job. So can you help me out? Ignore. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing in that for
So,
me other than losing, right?
yeah.
So,
It
uh,
could even be a robot. Could be an AI, right?
right.
Even
So yeah,
right? Could be an AI saying that.
it could be. It
No,
could be.
yeah. I asked that question because I know you know about it, and it's all about human connection. Like the interview process, like you have to click somehow. If you don't
Dude,
click
it's
it,
how
no
me
matter
and you are
how
here right now, right? Like this is how this
exactly,
came
exactly.
about because you and I do a similar thing, and I would see you, you would see me,
Yeah.
and turns out you actually interviewed with a guy that is like my closest friend at Microsoft. We'll talk about that off camera,
Oh,
but
really?
yeah, yeah, yeah. And so,
That's
that's how it works. So to your point, like to your question about executive presence, yeah, I think that's still valuable, but I think a social presence, right, um, to me is more valuable because the other thing for me, I don't have this, and it's just maybe I'm crazy, but I don't have fear of any person. You know what I mean? Like
mm,
the CEO of any company could pop on camera with us now, and he's just a regular guy to me, right? Like there's nobody that I'm gonna be like,
yeah.
oh, right?
Same,
Yeah, yeah. So,
same.
uh, so I think that knowing who you are, being self-aware is important too.
Yeah, I'd say, man, you can put like 100 CEOs in the room. Like, hey, Davidson, talk about this thing. Like, I'm just gonna be myself, and if you like it, like. If you don't like it, it's not,
Yeah,
whatever.
that's the
Let's
thing. I
talk
don't
about
even
Chicago
care if
Bears,
people like
though.
you. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's what I think is important, right?
I care for a long time. Like, the older I get, I'm like, yeah, whatever.
There you go. Yeah, yeah.
But hey, look at talk about Chicago Bears. Sam Macho. Does that sound the bell?
Yeah, I know that guy. Yeah,
Sam Acho.
Sam
Okay, cool.
Acho. Yeah,
He's
he's
my
he's
buddy.
not there
He's
anymore. But oh, okay. Yeah,
yeah, I
he's
know. We went to school together.
he's on TV now. Yeah.
I know. We went to school together. We did the MBA together, same classroom and all that. Lifted weights together. And I see him
Oh,
on
nice.
TV all the time. I was like, man, like, yeah. So if you wanna talk to Sam, I know you like Chicago Bears. I'll make an intro.
Because he has a
Um,
brother, Emmanuel, too,
but
right?
yeah, Emmanuel, they're both like writers. They're like big time in NFL, like commentators, that kind of stuff. Really cool.
Yep.
Nigerian
Yeah.
family. So we connected because we're both international.
Yeah.
He grew
Okay.
up here. Anyways, no, so man, like this is, oh my gosh, 30 minutes already. So I usually, end on 30 minutes, and I don't want to take too much of your time. This has been amazing. We have to do a part two sometime.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I know you do a lot of stuff, man. You have some AI school. You have like a
Yeah.
podcast. Can you tell a little bit more about things you do and how can people learn about you and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, thanks for that. So, Horace MacKey on LinkedIn, again, try and find that commonality. I'll give Chicago is another thing I'll talk about a lot too. That's where I'm originally from. But yeah,
Mm,
Horace MacKey on LinkedIn, Big Tech Money on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. And then to your point, I have
big
a
tech
AI
money.
tutor that I created. And what I basically did was take everything that I know and everything that essentially I learn as well. And I built a custom GPT on top of Chat GPT. So it kind of gets powered
Mm,
by Chat GPT, but the custom GPT that sits on top of it that I built basically has all of my knowledge, right? Like all of my AI knowledge, all of my product and hardware
wow.
knowledge, all anything that I know, the star interview process, how I would do your resume, the templates I would use, like everything that you would get from one-on-one sessions with me, right? Because a one-on-one session with me, my rate's like 250 an hour, right? And what I wanted to do
Yeah.
was make it more affordable for people, right? Because I'm like, it's hard times. I get it, right? And so what I did, 249, 250 a month, basically. You get the whole month, 24/7, and you have full access. And basically, I don't like to charge just nonstop either. So my recommendation is 4 months, right? And it'll
Okay.
create a 120-day plan for you and literally walk you through day by day what you should learn and kind of what the output should be. I know it works because I've gotten, feedback from a bunch of guys. I'm actually going to do some interviews with them. But one guy who, when I built it,
Nice.
I let him use it for free, right? Because I needed people. The guy got to
Huh.
me 2.5 months later, maybe actually 2 months later. I didn't even know he was still using it. The guy gets on, calls me up, tells me he got an offer at Salesforce. He's the highest paid. He's out of Vancouver, Canada, so he's going to do some videos and stuff for me. Got another guy who just told me he's
Wow.
in Egypt right now, but he'll be back soon. He actually was using it and created his own workflows from it. So it's no real surprise, but it's the people who commit and dedicate to the work are the ones that are getting the job, right? And my thing is this, man. Here's my analogy to it, right? 4 months, you pay $1,000. I had to spend 2 years going to class 3 days a week for 3 hours, right? All year
Yeah.
round, no breaks. $65,000 invested, and that's how I was able to get there, right? You get all that knowledge plus everything I've learned over the many years, kind of put into this thing. And anytime I come up with something new, I can just update the tutor, right? And so you get that new knowledge as well. So I think it's a steal. It's honestly one of the best things I've
I
ever done.
love, man.
Yeah, man. Let's talk about it. I'll send you a version of it so you can try it out. But yeah, man, it's pretty solid. It's pretty solid. Actually, I'm
Wow.
underplaying that. It is amazing. Let me not say it's solid. It's amazing. Like it actually impresses me even still when I use it, right? And we'll do some demos. Maybe in part two, I can do some demos for you on camera so you can kind of see how it works.
100%. 100%. And I
Yeah.
think that, wow, it sounds like it does job search. It does also, all
Bro,
sorts of advices, but also
it'll
AI,
do
a bunch of AI learning.
it's amazing. Yes, it'll do like career matching, so it'll tell you based on your where you are now. Like you take a job post, you drop it in, and it'll say like, "Oh, you need more experience in this. You probably want to get some experience in that, but you have done this, you have done that. This is why it's good." It does career translation,
Wow.
so it's like
Yeah.
you used to be you're a teacher now, but let me tell you how being a teacher would help you in tech sales, right? And tells you what to say in an interview. It I trained it to the language of all the separate companies, like the top 25 to 30 companies, because at Microsoft you have a technical specialist, but at
It's different.
Salesforce you have a sales engineer, and then ServiceNow you got a solution consultant. So I trained it to all the languages, right, of the different companies and
Man.
how to reference and I got mock interviews. So like if you put in a job from AWS in your mock interview, it's going to make you use the Amazon leadership principles because it knows that's how Amazon does their interviews, right? Google, it's going to do googliness, So look, man, it's incredible.
Have
I'm not
you?
just saying it to say it.
Wow, now you sold me, and I feel like we need, there's a
Yeah, well,
potential partnership here with Tech Sales Funnels, man. Let's
yeah.
work
I'll
together.
send it to you. I'll send it to you, and then you'll get like a
Like,
what do they call it? Affiliate link. It has the affiliate stuff. So we'll talk
yeah,
about
yeah. I was gonna say, like, do you have a white label for that one?
it. Yeah. No, we'll
I
talk about
love it. So
it.
my clients can have access to it.
Yeah. I
And
got you.
no,
Don't worry about it.
that's a
I got you.
conversation for
Yeah.
sure. Let's do it. I love that, and I know you can talk about AI all day, every day. There was a question here that I wrote down, but we should probably wrap it up. But any final drop of advice here? Anything that you wanna close to the
I'll
audience
just say,
here, tech
look,
sellers?
the AI tutor is incredible. We'll talk about it maybe on the next episode, or we'll make some special time for that. That's one. Two, work on your network, right? Like getting referrals works way better than just the random one. Get a coach because you are nowhere near as good as you think you are, and I think that's going to be the surprise for most people. And for those of you, because again, I don't think that I'm like a guy that people listen to for like the soft feel good message. Like my message is pretty tough, but it's because it was hard for me to do this, right? So for those of you who are willing to commit to it, to invest in yourself, to make the transition from what you're doing to what you really want to do, right? And if you saw the numbers of how much money we made, you'd be all over it. You'll be successful, right? Just stay at it. Don't give up. Don't quit. Make sure you talk to people, like myself, like Dayvisson, like anybody in this world will tell you, right? In this tech sales world will tell you what the outcomes and possibilities are. And they're really unlimited, right? But you have to do the work. If you think it's, oh, I'm going to go do something real quick and easy and then just fall backwards into 200, 300, 600,000, it doesn't work that way.
100%. Thank you so much. Wow, I knew it was gonna be good, man. Appreciate your time. We connected for the first time live today, right? And we just jumped on a call like this, like we know each other forever. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I want to close, but I thank you so much for joining.
Thank you, man. No, let's do it again. Like I said, we'll do part 2 soon.
Cool.
Thanks for tuning in to the Tech Sales Funnels podcast, where we crack the code and uncover the strategies to break into tech sales. If you found value in today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who's ready to hack their way into this exciting career. Remember, hacking into tech sales isn't just a goal, it's a mission. Let's keep hacking, learning, and winning together. Catch you next time.